Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm really excited because I'm presenting you the new Nitron R3 three-way coilover kit for our BMW M2 Competition. And my oh my, is this a beautiful piece of kit. So first of all, this is in no way sponsored. Actually, I have spoken with engineering at Nitron for quite some time, and in the end I purchased this through Suspension Secrets at full price. And I also got a custom spring rate in order to work best for how we are using the car here in the Canary Islands with big tires, sticky tires, high grip but rally roads. And in the end it turns out that it's a setup similar to the Nürburgring Nordschleife, so very interesting for that. I get a lot of questions about car suspension, coilover kits for the GI Yaris, for the BMW M2 and all of that. And although we've been through it many times, I would like to spend some more time today to show you through this kit and how it works, why it works, and why I actually decided to purchase this with my own money. So Nitron, to my eyes, is a very interesting company because they've been on the market for quite some years, but they came out strong only in the last years. Now, originating from the UK, I saw that they also are working with Vintras and opened a new office down in LA, America, California. And they are doing really well. They have won some major championships. They're working with OEM manufacturers at the level and scale of even Lotus, and they are doing very interesting products. In a nutshell, you could imagine this as a higher performing version of your Bilstein shocks. So monotube shocks mainly, and then 2 tubes and 3 tubes. But basically the normal design that you get here is a monotube with more valves in line. So depending if you have a one-way or a three-way, of course, in one way you will have one valve pack, and a three-way you will have 2 main valve packs, like in this case. And the fact is that they tailor their work to a specific kind of customer. That is a high-end performance customer that tracks their cars or that uses them very hard on B roads. They've done rally dampers before, although today they are not deploying technologies like we see, for example, at Rigers. They probably will, hopefully will do so in the future with other concepts of wheel release and all of that. As I said, I've spoken to their engineers. They seem very capable and open people, maybe a bit overworked in this period, but the good thing is that you can talk to the actual company and state your requests and get replies, and they can tell you, yeah, I can do this, I cannot do that. I was in a hurry to get my kit, and in the end I managed to get this in 3 weeks. So thank you very much to Suspension Secrets to pushing out for this result with me, and also to Nitron for producing this kit very quickly as requested. So first things first, I would say, apart from, let's say, the visual beauty of having a piggyback reservoir on your shock, in my hands now is a rear shock of the BMW M2, why would a person want to spend more money and go with a three-way system as opposed to a one-way system? I'll never get tired enough of talking about this. So this is what actually transforms the way your car drives. So for me, spending a sizable amount of money on a one-way kit makes no sense. I mean, there are people out there swearing on their lives on one-way kits, and because probably they've never tried a well set up three-way kit and they don't understand the principle of functioning that are behind them. So let me tell you. Basically, a valve package, in the end of it all, decides at what speed oil passes through. And with the oil displacement, what happens is that the piston floats and it allows the movement of the suspension shaft. Basics. So these suspension shaft movements occur in two categories of speeds. One is the low speeds, that is basically the chassis movement, so how the car leans into a curve, how the car therefore rolls, how it pitches when you're braking or accelerating, and this. The second is the high speed shaft travel, okay, and this occurs when your car hits a curb or hits a bump and everything that excites the damper in a very quick manner, so an impact. So many times I'm sure that if you have driven on one-way suspensions, especially if you're using, let's say, products that are street-oriented on the track, I don't know, Olin's Road on Track or something like that, even, I mean, of good brands, what will happen is that going on track at a certain point, you will find yourself hitting a ceiling, a roof that is made of glass. You can't understand what's happening, but the fact is that you're going out on the track and you see that your car is rolling too much, it's not responding quick enough to your inputs. So what you do is you go down there, you adjust the hydraulics and you turn them all the way up. You do some compensation, front and rear, whatever. You get back on the track and your car still leans too much and does not respond the way you want, but it's become unbearable on the curbs and all the bumps. And even worse, when you go out on the street, it's like impossible to drive around them. This is where the three-way system comes into account, because basically, imagine this as a circuit in line. So you have oil, then on this same shaft, you have a valve pack. This valve pack displaces, let's say, in this case, the rebound. Then you go all the way here and you have, in this case, another valve pack where you have the low speed compression and the high speed compression as separate. So imagine this as a blow-by valve. On top of that you have the nitrogen gas, just like in the Bilstein shocks or any high-end shock nowadays, that compensates in keeping the shock and the oil as level and cool temperature as possible, in a way that the performance of the ratio of this damper does not go down with heat. This was a big problem back in the day. Nowadays they're using very, very thin oils, so it's less of a problem, but it still happens when dampers get very hot. So in this case, this helps a lot, and also the aluminum body conducts heat very well and it disperses it very well. So independently, when you have set up a firm suspension on the compression and rebound for the low speeds, your car will not be rolling or pitching too much and will be just where you want it. For example, if you're like me, I still want a very precise and oversteering car, pointy as you would call it, but not too hard. I would like to have some chassis movement, because that helps me also maintain the tires in time and helps me in the transitions and a lot of things like this. Especially if you're at the limit, if the car is too stiff, there's nothing more you can do. It will just go away like flat. Instead, if you have some movement, you can play around even when the grip is little, because you're sliding away. And the high-speed compression, when set to quite open, will let you basically go over curbs and bumps as if they were not there, as if the damper was not keeping you. The recovery is there, so the contact with the road will stay there, but you will not feel the curbs that much. Translate this back onto the street. Now you're driving down the street from the track or on your favorite B road that we all know are full of potholes, and what is happening? You're not feeling the potholes. Much, much less than on a one-way system. Why? Because the suspension is coping. It's coping because it has a three-way blow-off valve in the compression, therefore it can go in. Also, in existence, there are four-way suspensions, but this is very technical, where if you have a very well set up car and you are a very fine driver, you can see the difference in the way you can modify the rebound at high speeds, and therefore the way the wheel returns in the ground. In this case, this is just made in a way that it's constant, and it modifies proportionally with how you modify the compression. So all in all, I'm quite impressed of the workmanship here. And I would state, of course, we will put this on the car and test it, and we'll come back with you with more information. But I mean, look at these camber plates. This is a beautiful work, personally, I prefer when I see the actual spring seated instead of the shaft, because it makes it virtually indestructible. I don't see they're doing this here yet. I can understand this is a design choice. It could be a bit because of packaging, but I'm not so convinced of this. But still, the bearing that is used in here looks like a high-grade Motorsport bearing, so I'm happy with that. And also, this car is not a rally car in the sense that we're not going to go and trash it on gravel or anything, so we should be very fine with it. We can adjust both camber and caster, sliding the plate in one direction and the other. And my personal suggestion is, whenever you install a camber plate, try to gain all the caster possible. All the caster you can get out of it, just get it. And these are the rear top mounting. So these dampers here in the rear mount like this on the car. And they are a very beautiful piece of kit. And of course, in the front dampers, there are these, will mount in this way with the camber plate on top, just like this. Of course, it will go all the way down here, but not installing it just now. And this is the front damper. You have adjustable sway bar retention links here, so I can rotate these up and down depending on where I need it on the car. And also they provide you adjustable sway bar links. So this is another topic. This is one of the biggest mistakes I always see done. Adjustable tie rods, they're called, yeah, sorry for that, can create you a huge amount of problems. What you want to do with these is basically get the size more or less similar to stock, and then shorter to a proportion of how much your car is lowered, and install one. You install the second, but you do not install, let's say you install the bottom part, but not the top. Once your car is on the alignment bench and it's on its wheels, and the car is aligned and the corner weighted and everything, then you adjust this second tie rod in a way that it goes into its hole on the damper with no problem. This means you achieved zero preload. Zero preload is super important. I don't know, if you've ever driven, I'm sure it happened to you. If you think about it, your own car or a friend's car that has got coilovers on it, and they have adjustable tie rods, very few cars are set up with zero preload. And you can feel it, because as you drive the car into a curve to the left, it acts differently as when you drive it to the right. And typically what happens is, on one side you feel the car that is entering the curve even before your input. I mean, with a very small input you feel the car just driving away. And on the other side it's sluggish. And this is what happens when you have sway bar preload. So I am very happy of this, so I'll wrap it up now and get to the workshop and get this installed on the car and get back to you with the sensations. Cheers!